Welcome back to Looking Up. My name is Phil, and I want to take you to a story that I read this morning that just grabbed me. And I think it grabbed me because this is something we all need to hear today. It's a story that's narrated in 2 Kings chapter 4. It's way back in the Old Testament. A prophet named Elisha, one of my favorite characters in Scripture. Elisha is one of many prophets, and there was another prophet who was a man of God, but he ended up dying tragically, and his wife now, his widow, with 2 sons, is at the end of her rope. There's some creditors that are coming and saying, I'm going to take your 2 sons, and they're going to become my slaves because you can't pay up. She didn't have near enough to make ends meet. And so she comes to this prophet Elijah asking for help. And I love his response. He just says, okay, how can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house that might be able to help your situation? You might not have much, but is there a little something that you can bring to the table to see how you can get out of this situation? And she says, all I have is just a little bit of olive oil. That's it. Just olive oil, nothing else. Not even any food for the table, nothing. A couple empty jars. And Elisha, this man of God, this prophet, he says, here's what I want you to do. Go around to all your friends and neighbors and ask them for any empty jars they have. Now, if they are anything like my wife, who stockpiles mason jars, and all these, she'll like clean them and they become our glasses, So maybe your neighbors are like Phil's wife, he says, who has all these empty jars. Go grab those and then take the little olive oil you have and fill each jar up. And so she starts pouring. She goes in her house, she closes the door, her and her 2 sons, and she starts pouring this olive oil, and miraculously, it doesn't run out. She keeps pouring, and she fills a jar, and they set it to the side. She fills another jar, and they set it to the side. She fills another jar, and they set it to the side. And she keeps doing this, and she asks her sons to bring another jar, and they say, we have no more. That was all the jars. And they look, and now they have this stockpile of jars full of olive oil. And so she goes back to Elisha and she says, okay, what do I do now? And Elisha says, I want you to go around and now sell that olive oil to your friends and neighbors. And she had enough money from selling all that olive oil to her friends and neighbors that she could go and pay off those debts and spare her sons from being enslaved and laborers for this creditor. She had so much left over that they were able to live on it because of a miracle, yes, but because she brought her little and poured it out before the Lord and in faith trusted Him to make much of it. It reminds me of the story when Jesus in Matthew 14 is out teaching one day and his disciples say, there's no food for everybody. Let's let them go on a lunch break. We can do this afterwards. And he says, no, just feed them. And he ends up feeding thousands upon thousands that day with just a few loaves of bread and a few fish. Maybe you've heard the story. My friend, what's running low in your life today? And is there a little that you could bring before God and let Him pour out and make much of it? See, your little is much in the hands of God. God has this uncanny way of multiplying whatever it is that we bring to Him. And you might be sitting here today thinking, yeah, but Phil, you don't know my situation. I don't have anything left. My finances are gone. My job is gone. I lost my loved one. They're gone. I have no peace, no joy, no hope. I mean, this COVID thing is lasting way longer than I expected, and now there's smoke. I can't go inside anywhere. I can't go outside anywhere. I've got nothing. I am empty. And here's what's beautiful, is that only empty vessels can be filled. And when you feel like you only have just a little bit left, you bring that little, you pour it out before God in faith, trusting that He's going to make much of it, and He will make much of it. If you're low on peace today, come before God and say, God, I need your peace to get me through this season. If you're low on finances, come before God and say, God, I need to see you provide. And I believe our God is a provider and He'll take care of you. If you're low on faith and you're saying, God, I've got these big faith questions and I just don't know what to do with them, bring them before God, because I believe our God has big answers to our big faith questions. Whatever you're low on today, whatever you're low on, bring it before God. He has this uncanny ability to make much of our little and to fill our emptiness more than we could have ever imagined. So may that be an encouragement to you today. Bring whatever little you have, pour it out before God, and see what he can do. Have a great week. Keep looking up.